And good morning world, it's 10 a.m. in the morning, it's the 29th of January 2015. Apologies for my absence in the last couple of days. I've been dealing with a potential life and death situation. It's happily now resolved, fortunately, at least for the time being. But it's made me think about the 8th house. So here's my treatise on the astrological 8th house. Right, so the 8th house of the zodiac, related to the 8th sign of Scorpio, most commonly and traditionally known as the house of sex, death and transformation. So let's deal with these three things first before we come to the reality. 8th house is a sex of death. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Because it's the Scorpio house. And actually, in all of the horoscopes I've read over the years, over the tens of thousands of charts that I've seen in my 38 years of astrological experience, in my opinion, the connection of sex with the 8th house is tenuous at the very best, and to be honest, pretty much non-existent. The 8th house does not have any relation to the nature of sexuality as far as the majority of people go, the vast majority of go, and you can safely dismiss the idea of sex as being the under the rulership or the ownership of the 8th house. Death. Nah, don't do that one either. Death is unpredictable, and if I could predict it, I wouldn't. You can't suggest that someone with lots of 8th house is going to have a violent death or a quick death or whatever, because it's just not true. Death is something that is not measurable by astrological standards. And if it was, I wouldn't be studying it. So the idea of death being the premise of the 8th house, wrong. The reason death is associated with the 8th house is because the 8th house is the Scorpio house, and it is dark and it is psychologically based. And most people are scared of death. So it represents the dark, the unknowable, the unknown. Really, the 8th house does have some qualities. So sex and death, that's them out the window. Transformation. Yeah, here I'll go with it. The 8th house is the house of psychological depth. It is not the unknown, the mystery, the dream, the vision, the imagination, because that's the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of the unknowable, the mysteries and the depths. The 12th house has no base, it is bottomless. The 12th house is the unconscious, if you like. The 8th house is more to do with one's psychological states. It deals with things of typical Scorpio attributes, such as fear, when you know what you're scared of, and phobia, when you don't know what you're scared of, and paranoia, persecution, or they're out to get me. Yes, there are 8th house qualities there, but there's equally strong capacity for people to go into their own psychological caverns, into the dark, knowing that the darkness is just the absence of light, and that there's nothing wrong with the dark whatsoever. And people who say there is are scared of it themselves. Shades of grey, yeah, there's problems there. But darkness and light, equal sides of the same coin, yin and yang. So people with a lot of 8th house are encouraged to go into the dark, because once they plumb their psychological depths and they get to rock bottom, they then get the scouring pad out, bring up all the poison, and then they never have to go back down there again, because there's nothing they become scared of. They become invulnerable, and hence you see the positive transformative sides of the 8th house. And here there is a relation to Scorpio with the phoenix rising from the ashes, pure, reborn and invulnerable. No, in my opinion, the 8th house has two much more significant qualities. It is the house of power, and it is the area that deals with other people's money. Power is a vastly misunderstood concept. Power is. There is power in this world. Some call it magical, some call it intuitive. It doesn't matter. People who think they are powerful are not. Power is. It runs through us all, but it runs through. What happens is that some people become aware of this power and they try and contain it, or control it, or manage it, at which point they say, right, this is my power, I'm going to keep it and become strong, and as soon as the power is blocked from passing through them, they become corrupt, twisted, perverted, ugly. It is not powerful, but as a really good client of mine in the Far East said just a few days ago, it is power-filled. You are not powerful, you are full of power. Power flows through you. You are the conduit and the channel for it. And if you allow it to flow through you and hitch a ride on it, you can do wonderful things both for yourself and for others. But if you try and control it, you're screwed. Power-filled, not powerful. And other people's money. As Taurus is the house, the sign and the house, the second house, that relates to values, possessions, personal security. So the 8th house relates to external money, possessions and external forms of security. Hence the 8th house association with mortgage, death grip, loan, business loan, personal loan, private loan, inheritance, death again, tax rebate, sponsorship, investment, funding, external sources of funding. And the 8th house is the area where you can, if you've got a healthy 8th house, attract the resources you need. Don't talk to me about taxes. I got my tax bill yesterday. I've got to pay £7,500 to the tax man within the next few weeks. I don't know where I'm going to get it from. I really don't. And that is more than Facebook. Facebook only paid £5,000 odd last year in tax in the UK. I've got to pay 40% more than that. Me, little me. I don't like Facebook. The 8th house is also the house where one's psychic abilities are. It is not psychic in terms of intuitive or sensual or artistic. It is proper psychic. We see dead people where life and death issues do arise. And people with a lot of 8th house are often finding that a lot of other people are uncomfortable around them because the other people will sense the depth and the gravity of the 8th house person. And yeah, it can be a bit disconcerting with that manner of 8th house quality. They come across as very intense, borderline extreme or compulsive, but that's the Scorpio element. They don't do lightweights, they don't do people that lie, and they don't do superficial. They do depth. They have that penetrating scorpionic 8th house glare that tends to see right through you. And people with a lot of 8th house, they have the habit of just knowing things. To use a not very nice word, their bullshit filters are excellent. If you've got a lot of 8th house, don't be scared of it. Use it. It's a gift. And you can be a big help to both yourself and to the world. But don't do fear. What a waste of energy. Bloody Facebook. Right, that's my 8th house subject. Catch you later, world. Bye.